going on?
I didn't put that in my bag.
Well, what's in it?
Please don't unpack it.
This isn't allowed into Canada.
I don't get it here. Please.
Holy Toledo.
At Vancouver International Airport, the midday rush has the baggage hall buzzing.
And where'd you guys go? And who paid for your tickets?
Border Services officers weed out suspicious travelers who may have something to hide.
We talk to hundreds of people in a day. Physical indicators are important, but it's more about the answers to our questions.
Where did you stay while you were down there?
What's the medication for?
Why did you take this route?
Where do you live?
I live on the Sunshine Coast.
Today, an officer pulls aside a Canadian who says she was visiting a friend in the States.
It seemed like she was quite nervous about everything I asked her, and also her tickets were purchased by a third party, and I just found that to be somewhat peculiar. All the expenditures that occurred in the U.S. and then coming back home was all being funded by this gentleman?
Paid by him. Everything that we did was paid by his mother.
Okay. So, can I just ask, like, why did he pay for you?
He's a lover of mine.
Okay.
He takes care of me while I'm there.
Do you use any drugs at all?
No.
You've never used anything?
I smoked pot in high school.
Okay, but nothing recent?
No.
I'm asking you those questions because we look for drugs. That's part of the exam. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you those questions.
I smoked pot
In high school? Or you already told me that?
during this excursion.
Okay, so let me be upfront with you. We don't care what you do. What I care about is what's in your bags. And I care about what's on your person.
Drugs on my person or in my bags whatsoever.
Okay, and you know what's inside the bags? Okay, let's take a quick look inside. You all right? What's going on?
I didn't put that in my bag.
Okay. Well, what's in it?
I don't know. I didn't put it in my bag.
At Toronto's Pearson International Airport,
And what was the purpose of your trip?
I went to see my parents.
a Canadian resident is redirected to secondary so an officer can verify her $500 declaration.
What are you bringing back in all your bags?
Gifts, and I got like a few things from the duty free.
When you say gifts, what kind of gifts do you mean?
I don't really have a lot of gifts. I just have perfumes and my clothes and these things. And I have 2 cheese packets and dates.
My concerns are that she's bringing in goods in excess of what she's declared. Do you have any jewelry that you just recently got on this trip? Some of what you're wearing? So when did you get that stuff?
When I was in Kuwait.
On this trip?
Oh, these gifts I got from my husband, and this, yeah, from the trip.
Okay, can you take them off, please?
It's artificial.
Well, I need to see it, right? I mean, I can't tell when it's on your hand. This isn't real gold or anything?
No, this is nothing.
Upon closer inspection, it's clear the traveler is telling the truth.
Do you travel frequently?
Yeah, a lot.
Have you been to customs before? Have you gone through a customs examination before? No? Okay. Are these all your bags?
Yeah.
Did you pack everything?
Yeah. Please don't unpack it.
Well, this...
If you do, then you can pack it.
At Montreal's Trudeau International Airport,
Ok, je sais vous asseoir, monsieur.
an engineering student from France arrives for a 10-week vacation.
He declared coming here as a tourist, but my colleague observed that he had an internship contract on his telephone. So what does it say? Is he paid?
Non, elle prend paye.
All right.
So, vous allez go search him?
Yep.
Avec les bagages, s'il vous plaît.
Juste passer ici, monsieur, s'il vous plaît.
If the traveler is actually planning to intern, he requires a work permit.
Ce sont bien vos bagages?
Oui.
C'est vous qui les avez faits? Oui. Vous asseoir, monsieur.
Une chose que je veux vous demander, monsieur, c'est que ma collègue m'a dit, quand vous êtes arrivé, vous avez dit « je viens ici en touriste ».
Oui.
Vous êtes étudiant en ce moment?
Oui.
Parce que j'ai observé avec ma collègue, vous avez une convention de stage, c'est ça?
En fait, il fallait simplement faire du woofing.
Confronted with the contract, the traveler suddenly changes his tune.
Pourquoi vous l'avez pas dit simplement que vous venez faire du woofing? Pourquoi juste dire touriste? Parce que c'est pour...
On avait quand même une petite peur.
Woofing is the practice of volunteering on organic farms abroad in exchange for room and board. Woofers do not require work permits, but there are strict guidelines to follow.
When we speak about woofing, it has to be done by somebody that is in a specific place for 1 to 4 weeks. Mais pensez-vous que c'est mieux de juste ne pas l'avoir dit?
Non,
parce que c'est comme un mensonge.
Oui.
Venir ici en touriste, pas de problème.
Ouais.
Mais exercer une activité qui s'apparente à du travail, c'est ce qui est problématique.
Halifax Harbor is one of the busiest on the East Coast, handling more than 300,000 shipping containers every year.
They're going to send it to the warehouse?
Today, CBSA officers flag a canister from Europe declared as fish food.
This container, it's a referral from our waterfront team. They opened the doors on the terminal, and there's frass underneath the pallets, which is the result usually of chewing insects.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, it's a little bit.
A little bit right there, yeah. The frass is a very fine-looking sawdust. If it is the byproduct of a wood-boring insect chewing through the wood, holy Toledo, look at that. That's frass. I've been around a little while, and that was a lot of frass. Not something I'm accustomed to seeing. Look at the frass. That's incredible, man.
Right off the bat, we can see some carcasses. That gives us an indication that there were live bugs.
There's a collection of dead bugs there.
Yeah.
If any of the insects are still alive, they could be a threat to the Canadian ecosystem.
Our primary concern has to be to make sure the bugs are destroyed.
In Vancouver.
What's in it?
I don't know. I didn't put it in my bag.
A nervous Canadian returns from a romantic rendezvous in the States with a mysterious envelope in her bag.
Okay, but why are you so concerned with it?
I'm assuming all there's in there is a letter and some money.
Well, how did you know it's a letter and money if you didn't put it in your bag?
Because one other time that I left from down there, he gave me to my hands an envelope, which I opened that had a letter and money.
Okay. You are acting somewhat nervous. Okay. But just hear me out. But just hear me out. Listen, I've been totally upfront about what I'm looking for, and I've totally been upfront about what.
As well, and I'm just serious that you guys make me a little bit nervous.
Okay, but take a deep breath, relax. Do you want a chair to sit down?
Yeah.
Would that help you out? Yeah.
Hopefully.
There you go. Okay. All right. Like, I just want to make sure that you're okay. You know, you're not going to pass out on us or.
I'm okay.
Okay, Azura, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, just hang tight. Okay. So we conducted an ion scan of some of the contents in her bag, and those are negative. My job is to identify people that are nervous and people that are acting abnormal, like atypical, right? That's our job. High five. I can do that. I'm wearing gloves.
They are just trying to do what they've been trained to do, but it still made me feel extremely uncomfortable.
All right? Take care of yourself, all right? All right, bye-bye.
In Montreal.
Pourquoi vous l'avez pas dit simplement que vous venez faire du woofing? Pourquoi juste dire touriste?
After lying to a CBSA officer in primary, a student from France admits he's come to volunteer in exchange for room and board.
So what does it say? Does Easy pay?
No, it's not paid.
But a phone search turns up a contract for a 10-week internship with a Canadian company.
If the traveler was seeking entry to do an internship, the traveler requires a work permit. Okay, mais le problème, c'est pour nous, là, quand on vous pose des questions, c'est par rapport à ce que vous venez de dire, le fait de travailler.
C'était pas vraiment comme si on travaillait dans une usine avec un contrat, un salaire, tout. Il fallait simplement faire du woofing.
WWOOF is an international work exchange program. Participants do not require permits as long as they follow the rules.
Est-ce qu'il y a des dates précises pour le woofing? Une date de commencement? 2 mois, mais je dis à quel moment ça commence? Demain? Directement demain? OK. We did verify the definition of woofing. When it's more than 4 weeks, for us, basically there's no more exemption to the work permit. Pour nous, ce qu'on observe, l'interprétation de votre situation, pour nous, au terme de la définition de ce que vous venez faire, au terme de la loi, c'est un stage. Et c'est un stage qui malheureusement nécessite un permis de travail. Une durée de temps que vous allez spécifiquement, ça ne rencontre pas les critères non plus de la définition de woofing. Donc ça fait en sorte que malheureusement, vous ne pouvez pas rentrer au Canada aujourd'hui. Okay, votre admission est refusée. Okay. We allowed him to leave Canada. This means that he doesn't have any restriction to come back here. So should he wish to come back here to work, he'll need to follow the proper procedures. Dans un cas d'un stage, vous n'avez pas le choix de passer par l'ambassade. So you'll be leaving Canada on the next flight available, which is later tonight.
Bravo, Custom, wait for 7. Did you pack everything?
Please don't unpack it.
In Toronto, a resident who declared $500 worth of goods is reluctant to have her bags examined.
Have you been through customs before? Have you gone through a customs examination before? No?
Well, I wanted to be.
You wanted to be?
Yeah.
All right. Never heard that answer before, but...
Yeah, but I didn't pack my bag. My parents did it, so I have no idea what is where.
Would they have packed other things that you don't know about?
I have shisha.
Shisha is a flavored tobacco most often smoked in hookah pipes.
You didn't declare that you had it. Where is it?
It's in one of these.
So you do know where it is?
Yeah, no, like, I know what things are in it, but I don't know where is what.
These you got made over there?
I don't know. This is, okay, yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. How much would you think that stuff is?
I don't know.
You don't know?
But you're asking for gifts I bought for someone else, not for me, right?
Okay, so when you're traveling abroad and you're bringing things in your luggage...
You don't buy gifts for yourself. You just shop and you buy gifts for someone else, right?
You can do that if you want to, but my point in asking you these questions is to establish the value of what you're bringing back today. So part of my questioning is just to start to add up the total of what you have, right? So why don't you pack this bag right now?
I'm going to pack it?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do it.
At the Peace Bridge in Fort Erie, officers search the vehicle of a Canadian currently living in the States.
These travelers are coming from Texas. They're coming up here to visit family and retrieve some items that are up here in storage.
Just a heads up, needles back here, okay?
They're right here.
We did find needles. Along with the needles, we did find vials of what we suspect to be human growth hormones.
Human growth hormone is most commonly used as a performance-enhancing drug, and it's a controlled substance in Canada.
And we're just looking to see if there's any type of further contraband.
Back at Pearson International.
Are you going to unpack that too?
Yep.
That's a big mess.
The search for undeclared shisha in a returning resident's luggage continues.
And maybe shisha in this bag, I'm not sure.
Do you know how much shisha you have?
Shisha? You
How
mean,
much shisha tobacco you have?
I have 4 flavors. It's not tobacco, I think. It's just flavors, right?
Well, it depends. This is...
Oh, this is the cheese.
This is cream cheese.
This is cream cheese.
Okay, so this isn't allowed into Canada.
It is allowed.
Cream cheese? It's basically just a byproduct of fresh cream, which is something it's not allowed into Canada.
Well, I don't get it here. How am I going to eat it?
What do you mean, cream cheese? We sell cream cheese
Not
here.
kiwi. Can you not throw it, please?
Can I not throw it?
Yeah, because I need it. I need to eat it.
The cheese is confiscated, and the shisha located.
I have 3 of these. This is another one. Yeah, I have 3.
Thank you. It says right on the side that it has tobacco. right? It's listed on the ingredients.
Just a little bit.
But the point is, it's a tobacco product. So you have 750 grams. Your personal limit is 200 grams.
In Halifax, insect-infested pallets on a European shipping container could be a threat to our ecosystem.
Our primary concern has to be to make sure the bugs are destroyed.
These aren't factory-made pallets. I think they've rebuilt pallets with untreated wood. They've not been treated with methyl bromide or heated to temperatures to kill larvae and insects inside the wood. We remove the pallet, we put it on a tarp so that if the bugs come free of the pallet, they start scurrying. It's easier to see them, it's easier to contain them. Live one.
There you go.
There was so many galleries in it that just using a knife point was enough to break the galleries open and find the live insects crawling through. And that's definitely wood boring.
Nicely done. Normally, if I'm doing bugs, I'll see 1, 2, 3.
Ah, here we go.
Oh, back in action. What she was pulling out was just an incredible number, and the fact that they were still so active after being in the container for so long is a little concerning.
In Fort Erie,
Just a heads up, needles back here, okay?
officers discover suspected vials of human growth hormone inside a Canadian citizen's vehicle.
And we're just looking to see if there's any type of further contraband.
An extensive search reveals nothing else of concern.
The gentleman has indicated that he has a prescription for the growth hormones back in the United States. Because you don't have a prescription here in Canada, I can't verify your story.
The travelers are benched while officers take a closer look at the vials.
This is a skin product, changes the pigment of your skin. The other ones we have vials of like a saline solution, and the other ones look like they're growth hormones. Then we have a loaded syringe full of testosterone.
Can't see where he would have a prescription.
Well, he said we could call and verify it with his doctor. He'd be willing to go on a conference call with his doctor and verify that he does have a prescription for that, but at the same time, we don't know who we're speaking to on the other end. Okay, sir, can you just step out for a sec? Just need to explain to you what's going on here. So essentially, the items will be seized. You will not be getting them back. Given the fact that the subject had no previous criminal record, it was decided, given the minimal amounts of growth hormones that we did locate, that the goods would be seized as other controlled drugs. Since you are Canadian, we're going to be allowing your entry into Canada. So you're free to leave, and there's no further penalties. If the drugs in question were of substantial nature, or if the person had a criminal record, that would warrant possibly a conveyance penalty attached to the subject's vehicle. There you go, and appreciate it.
So next time we cross the border, we'll have a paper verification of our prescriptions.
It says right on the side that that's tobacco, right? It's listed on the ingredients.
Just a little bit.
In Toronto, a Canadian traveler's hope for a smooth trip through secondary has gone up in smoke.
This traveler has declared that she is under the limit for tobacco, whereas clearly she is over the limit. So you have 750 grams. Your personal limit is 200 grams.
I didn't even know it's tobacco. I thought it was just
Okay,
a
ma'am,
flavor.
let's listen to me for a sec. The question on the form is, are you over the limit? You've said no when you are. The slip had the exemptions listed on the side.
No. But I honestly didn't even know it's tobacco. I just thought it's a flavor.
You didn't know it's tobacco?
I don't know. I knew it's tobacco, but I didn't know it's that big of a deal.
Okay. Well, you're the one that's bringing it into the country, so you should know what you have. I'm going to give you an option. You can either dispose of it and not have to pay, or you're going to have to pay on what you're over on.
The traveler chooses to pay the duties and taxes.
So I just want you to know that you understand.
Yeah, I did.
And that you're going to do everything correctly next time. You're going to declare when you do either shop or you bring in some tobacco and stuff in with you. Okay?
In Halifax, Untreated pallets discovered on a European shipping container are crawling with creepy critters.
Live one.
There you go.
One of our biggest concerns is if it is an invasive species, we end up with problems like the Asian longhorn beetle, which infested our province here about 10 years ago. You get an infestation of these insects, and they can run rampant for years before we get a handle on how to control them, slow them down, save our woodlands. Let's get the product back onto this pallet and back into that container.
Well, at this point, because we found live bugs, we don't want to offload the container any more than we have to. Our primary concern has to be to get that thing treated, make sure the bugs are destroyed.
Just going to do a little preventive escape here. The bugs, they'll be sent to our Canadian Food Inspection Agency. They have experts who will tell us exactly what type of beetle it is, if they're native or non-native to Canada, and whether they're an invasive wood-boring species. Either way, the container will be fumigated, and that will kill all the insects inside the wood. If they're invasive and dangerous, it's going back. The importer has to bear the burden of not following regulations for importation to Canada.
Watch a new episode of The Blacklist Thursday.